I took a break from my main project to make a retro horror game, and I only had 1 week to finish it. The first 2 days I didn't really know what I wanted to make, but Thomas Bruss had recently made a video on how you can make a good looking game with very simple shapes in Unity. So I kinda just followed that video and made a little level in his style. But it wasn't until I stumbled on a tutorial on how you can achieve this awesome retro look that I finally started to get some ideas on what to make. I was making this game for the Brackeys game jam, and the theme was "It is not real." So naturally, with this look and that theme, I decided to make a horror game. To make the game stand out from your usual horror game, I wanted to try and come up with a unique mechanic that I hadn't seen before and fit the theme of the jam. I eventually settled on a mechanic where you can blink to reveal the truth. It's simple and fits the theme. To achieve the blinking effect, I used 2 black bars that are set to stretch to the side of the screen. Then I created 2 animations to open and close them. I was really happy with how it looked and was ready to move on to the monster. I had many cool ideas for what kind of monsters I wanted to make, but since I was so short on time, I decided to make something simple. For the art, I looked around the Unity asset store but didn't really find anything special. Then I went through the free assets on itch.io and found this little pack. I thought they looked kinda cool, so I downloaded them, set them up and tried to get a feel for them. The ghostly demon looking chick fit pretty well with what I had in mind, and was also pretty convenient since he just had a hovering animation that worked really well with what I needed. I added a sanity that would go down when you saw the girl, but you had to look at her and blink to make her go away. For her spawn, I first wanted to make a system that spawned her at any random point around the player with some added parameters. But again, I had to take into account the short amount of time I had to make the game, and instead just placed a bunch of spawns around the map and then had her pick a random spawn not too far or too close to the player every 15 to 25 seconds. This saved me a lot of time and is a lot less prone to error. The added control over her spawns from this method was also a big win. The first 3 or 4 days I had only made the first level. There wasn't really any planning involved, so I kinda just made the first things that came to my mind. The retro look really sped up the level design, since I could just use simple shapes for all sorts of objects without the player being taken out of the experience. Like the boxes, barrels, chimneys and so much more are just made from the default Unity cube or cylinder scaled to different sizes. I modeled this bunker in Blender, gave it a door and then made this keypad. I'm not gonna spoil how you find the code, but you have to get into the bunker to progress to the next level. Now it's day 4 and I only have 3 days left to make 2 more levels, transitions to those levels, the end scene and refine the gameplay. The first thing that came to mind for the second level was a snowy mountainside, so I spent pretty much the entire 5th day just working on that level. I had a pretty hard time figuring out the layout and what kind of locations I should make, and honestly had no idea what the player's purpose was gonna be. But I powered through and like always just made the first thing that came to my mind. But after making this first area, my mind was pretty much out of ideas. I knew I wanted an elevator in this general location, but that was about it. So I took a break from the level design and made the snowfall particle system. I definitely spent a little too much time trying to perfect it, and while I'm happy I did, because I think it looks awesome, I was definitely procrastinating on the level design. So once I finished the snowing system, I kinda just sat there looking at the screen trying to come up with anything. Finally, I got the idea to make a huge hole because, ooh, big hole, scary. So now I had a big hole, but still no idea what to do next. Then the big hole gave me the idea to take the default Unity cylinder, scale it up to insane size and make it look like a giant ice cube or cylinder, I guess, that was cut out of the mountain hanging just above the hole. Then I just did some stuff here, did some stuff there, and bam, we got a thing going now, yay! I quickly put together this bunker and then pretty much finished the area by the elevator, and now I was done for the day. However, this is when I realized I actually just had 2 days left when I thought I had 3. I knew the submission date was on Sunday, but in my time zone it was very early in the morning, which means I pretty much just have 1 day now. 1 day to finish the second level, start and finish the third level, refine the gameplay and fix some things here and there. Oh boy. I start the final day and go straight to adding the objective to the second level. Due to the time constraint, it ended up being pretty similar to the objective of the first level, just with some changes here and there and one small added objective. Then I started work on the last level, and I really can't avoid spoilers at this point, so if you want to check out the game, I recommend you pause the video now and click on the itch.io link in the description. It shouldn't take much longer than 15 to 30 minutes max to complete. You just click here to download and make sure to unwrap the file using WinRAR or 7-zip, and then just open the executable file called Thomas Had a Dream. Okay, so for the last level, I knew I had to make it shorter and much more linear than the last 2, because again, I was short on time, but I had a pretty good idea of what I wanted to do. The elevator from the snow level so generously takes you straight down to hell, and goddamn if it doesn't look awesome. For the particles, I just used the snow particle system from the snow level, changed the color, and changed its Y velocity over lifetime property so it goes in any direction instead of just down. Creating the layout didn't take that long, but to achieve the spiky look, I had to go over the entire thing and click like a maniac. Once I had the layout and look of the map ready, I just took these white cylinders and placed them in some select locations, and now they totally look like teeth. Don't at me. Right now, the gameplay is pretty flawed. You have the sanity meter that goes down when you look at the demon chick, but it then passively regenerates when you don't see her, which just makes the game way too easy and it takes pretty much all tension away. So I made a pretty major change in that you no longer passively regenerate sanity. Instead, you have to look for these sanity pills around the map that regenerate your sanity by 10 when picked up. This instantly felt much better and also made exploring the map much more engaging. Now I really need to finish the game because it's getting pretty late and I really don't want to pull an all-nighter. So something I had been putting to the side that really needed to be done was hidden walls, because who doesn't love hidden walls, am I right? Creating the hidden walls for this area was a pain, but I got through it pretty fast, but quickly started dreading working on the colliders for the last level, because, I mean, look at this. You know, how do I even? But then my brain suddenly decided to become huge and I got an idea. I took a top-down image of the level that I then put into Blender and made a custom mesh that perfectly fit the level. I then ported the mesh to Unity and painstakingly went back and forth from Blender to Unity to make sure the collisions were perfect. Now it's like 3 AM and I'm tired AF, so I quickly put together an end scene and finished the last part of the hell level. Made the itch.io page and submitted the game. This was my first Game Jam game and I had a lot of fun making it. It's not perfect and hardly a great game, but I'm still proud of it. I especially love the atmosphere and just the fact that I finished it. On another note, I just recently passed 800 subscribers, almost 900 at this point, in just over a month, and my first video has been kind of blowing up. I just want to thank you all for the support and for watching. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on future devlogs. Peace.